I think that you have to be careful that criticism of Israel is not necessarily anti-Semitism and vice versa. She can criticize a state that she has meaningful disagreements with. I mean, she is a Muslim woman. She's the first naturalized African.
My question, we can have a poll.
Citizen.
How many people think she's anti-Semitic? Let's show. How many people? How many people agree with Geraldo?
I don't. Oh. And it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Damn it. I thought that we might have that one. When he went to the crowd, I was like, oh, no, they agree that she's anti-Semitic with Hannity. Damn it, man. Well, it's, it's representative and all that. So I guess that's where America stands. Hannity is such a little baby boy, such a pathetic, smooth-brained little baby boy. What is the point of that? That doesn't mean literally anything. I could just type to ChatGPT, please applaud me right now. And it is exactly as meaningful as going to that live Fox studio audience. He made a perfectly good point. Probably the sort of point that they have probably used in defense of some Republicans, since Republicans so frequently say wildly anti-Semitic things themselves. But in this case, it doesn't mean anything. I don't necessarily like Geraldo, Brett, but Geraldo's point, I think, is right. Now, you can still criticize the particular way that criticisms are worded. And again, as you said earlier, knowingly or unknowingly, continuing anti-Semitic stereotypes having to do with money or whatever, but you get to criticize foreign governments. They certainly are not hesitant to do that. Do we want to review the last year of their commentary about people like Zelensky? They clearly are fine criticizing governments, but they want you to believe without them ever having to state that there is one government or one leader of one government or one party operating inside of a multi-party democracy inside of a government that you cannot criticize. And so that obviously cannot be allowed.
None of the people who clapped are pro-Semites at all in any way. They are absolutely trafficking in those same tropes, as you said earlier in the show, with the Soros trope. And the reason they don't like Zelensky, they'll latch on to he's Jewish, that Nazi. It's really weird. I don't like it at all. And to answer your question, what is it for? I know why you'd said that. I know your rhetorical approach to that. I echo and applaud it. But just to explain what Fox News was invented for. Now, a prevailing dynamic in political discourse is if you find people around you who are like-minded, you're more likely to get engaged. That's why there's outreach. But if you don't find people around you who are like you, then you get disengaged and you don't participate. And so Fox News was an apparatus intended originally in an analog time to get everybody to find more like-minded voices and get more engaged in politics. Sure. And it isn't a general question of the American population, what do you believe, is Ilhan Omar an anti-Semite? There are polls they can go cite for that. But Fox News has been running Fox News polls on shows like Hannity's and Bill O'Reilly's for 15, 20 years, asking their audience, not what does America think about this, but how effective have I been in telling you something so that you believe not only what I'm telling you, but that only reasonable people believe that thing. And usually you just wait for a graphic to come up. There, he waited for people to clap. And Geraldo's listen, I hosted a daytime talk show in the 80s. I was surrounded by morons for most of my career. I am shocked at how dumb people have gotten in the 90s or whatever decade it is right now.
Sean Hannity is just complaining about everything Biden's doing these days, including spending money so that people get vaccinated and know about the process. He has a problem with that, among other things, as you'll see.
We'll have to see. Biden's Interior nominee failed to report casino income on congressional ethics reports. So, but what are they really? This is all about spending. This is all about the new Green Deal. This is all about redistribution. This is what this and by the and a lot of it now is you look at where the monies are going. This is the predicate. This is the beginning of the spending. You look at the items inside this: federal minimum wage increase, animal. They're going to spend money, $300 million for animal COVID studies. Socially disadvantaged farmers and ranchers. as we look at what's in there. Student loan outreach, probably forgiveness, money for the National Endowment for Arts, National Endowment for the Humanities. That's back. The Institute of Museum and Library Services, $200 million. Vaccine information. What does that mean, vaccine information? It's everywhere, the information. All you need to do is hit Google. It's free. You don't have, just tell everyone to Google it. Dr. Google will tell you anything you need. And you can go to the official CDC website. So we're going to have to watch all of this. Well, this is going to be a full-time job, getting to the bottom of what this is, the transformation that we warned would happen.
You didn't just get to the bottom of anything. You listed spending items, which is fine. That's a part of your actual full-time job because you're supposed to be like on the news and stuff. That's not getting to the bottom of anything. That's literally getting to the top. That's what the top is. So anyway, JR, I got a lot of thoughts. What are your thoughts about Sean Hannity there?
It doesn't, you don't have to have any details. He said spending on vaccine information.
Dr. Google.
What are you supposed to, do you want information or not? So you go to Google instead, then a YouTube video to talk about this rather than people actually researching and spending money to use professionals, maybe people who know what they're talking about to do this. What was the other part? Animal studies. I can't believe we're doing animal studies on this. Well, a lot of people have animals, and also I think they said it originated from an animal. I'm still confused on that, but
wait, JR, I mean, what does that have to do with anything? The fact that this disease, as well as affiliated other coronaviruses, jumped from non-human species to us. Why would you spend money on looking into animals? $300 million to potentially not have another pandemic? Yes, please. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, he said this is gonna be a full-time job getting to the bottom of all this. So this is Sean Hannity pointing out what the conservative, especially pundits, were doing during Obama years, which was anything. Let's find anything. We're gonna exhaust all of our energy and our money on just making sure we find anything. Animals, how could you? Ranchers, really? People in rural areas, vaccine information. And then they'll say these obvious things that make sense to look into and act like it's a crazy thing. But in the past 4 years, when their king was in office and he was doing everything indiscriminately and based off of nothing, the co-signers were just there. No questions asked. Oh, hydroxychloroquine, great. Hey, bleach, awesome. Hey, he didn't really say that, he was joking. At first I backed him up, then he said he's joking. Now I can say he's joking. No, you just follow the leaders, all they've been doing the past few years, and now it's time to go ahead and disparage anything else that's happened to make sure it's just a big political game.